9 major retailers, thousands of stores, all disappearing in 2026. And the reason isn't what you think. Let's break it down. Number 9, Jo-Ann.
Also a consumer alert for all those crafters out there. Jo-Ann Fabrics announcing today it's shutting down all of its stores.
Fabric and craft stores don't usually make economic headlines. Jo-Ann just did, again. After already going through one bankruptcy, the chain is closing its remaining physical footprint entirely, with hundreds of locations shutting for good. Why does a craft store collapse twice? Because its core customer, the at-home hobbyist, is being squeezed from 2 directions. Fabric, yarn, and craft supplies are now cheaper online through direct from manufacturer sellers, and discretionary hobby spending is one of the first things households cut when grocery and housing costs climb. Jo-Ann wasn't competing with Hobby Lobby, it was competing with a shrinking household budget. The real-world effect: small towns where Jo-Ann was one of the only craft or fabric retailers within driving distance now have none. For quilters, small business owners who sew for income, and school theater programs buying supplies in bulk, that's not a convenience loss. It's a sourcing problem. So if hobby spending is getting cut first, what happens when the cuts move into clothing? Parents can't avoid buying. That's next. Number 8, Big Lots.
A major national retailer is closing 3 of its Central Coast locations. The Big Lots in Atascadero, Santa Maria, and Lompoc will close as part of a broader nationwide closure involving between 35 and 40 stores.
Big Lots built its entire identity on being the place you went when money was tight. In 2026, even that model is shrinking further, with the chain working through another round of store closures following its bankruptcy restructuring. Here's the uncomfortable part. A discount retailer struggling isn't a luxury problem, it's a floor problem. Big Lots' customer base is already the most price sensitive in retail. When that segment pulls back, it means the squeeze has reached people with the least room to absorb it. The mechanics are simple. Close out and discount retail depends on volume. High foot traffic buying in bulk to offset thin margins. When shoppers start rationing trips, buying only essentials, and skipping the nice-to-have furniture or seasonal decor that drove Big Lots' margins, the math stops working store by store. For lower-income communities, a Big Lots closing often means losing the only affordable furniture or home goods option within a reasonable drive. Not just a discount shopping trip, but a genuine access problem. Number 7, Party City.
And we have breaking news. The party is over for retailer Party City. The company told corporate employees on a call today the business would be winding down operations immediately after nearly 40 years, and today would be their last day of work.
Party City didn't just close some stores. It shut down entirely, then attempted to relaunch with a smaller footprint, a pattern that's now repeating into 2026, with further closures hitting the surviving locations. What killed it wasn't a lack of demand for birthday balloons. It was a structural mismatch. Seasonal, single-occasion retail, Halloween, birthdays, graduation requires huge stores, stocked year-round to capture a handful of high-volume weeks. That's an expensive bet when rent and labor costs keep climbing, and when Amazon and Temu can ship the same decorations 2 days before the party for less. Party City also got hit by something specific: helium shortages and supply volatility, which directly undercut its core product category. When your flagship item becomes unreliable to source, your whole format is at risk. The community impact is mostly logistical. Fewer places to grab costume pieces or balloons last minute, but it's a clean example of what happens when a retail format depends entirely on convenience and immediacy, and a faster competitor takes that exact advantage away. Number 6, Rite Aid.
Rite Aid customers will need to find a new pharmacy. The company announced Friday that it's officially closed all of its stores. Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy protection in May. The company was founded in 1962, once operated more than 5,000 stores nationwide as well.
This is where things stop being about convenience and start being about access. Rite Aid, already working through bankruptcy, is continuing to close stores through 2026, shrinking its national footprint significantly from where it stood just a few years ago. The pressures are the same ones hitting every major pharmacy chain right now. Reimbursement rates from pharmacy benefit managers have been squeezed so hard that filling prescriptions is barely profitable on its own. Labor costs for pharmacists have risen, and front-of-store retail, the snacks, the toiletries, the seasonal aisle, has been steadily losing ground to big box and online competitors that sell the same items cheaper. This isn't isolated to Rite Aid. CVS has trimmed locations. Walgreens has closed over 1,000. When 3 of the largest pharmacy chains in the country are shrinking simultaneously, that's not company mismanagement. That's the entire business model breaking under its own cost structure. For seniors and rural residents specifically, a Rite Aid closure can mean losing the nearest place to get a prescription filled same day. That's a healthcare access issue wearing a retail closure headline. Number 5. Forever 21.
Forever 21 is closing all of its stores here in the United States, including 2 of them right here in the Western New York region. The move comes while the company files for bankruptcy for a second time now.
Fast fashion was supposed to be untouchable, cheap, trend-driven, built for impulse buying. Forever 21 just proved that even that model has a ceiling. The brand has filed for bankruptcy for a second time and is winding down its remaining US stores. The irony is sharp. Forever 21 got out fast fashioned. Shein and Temu can design, manufacture, and ship a trending item faster and cheaper than a mall retailer carrying physical inventory ever could. Forever 21 was paying mall anchor rent to compete with warehouses that have no storefront costs at all. Add in declining mall foot traffic broadly, and you get a business squeeze from every direction. Higher fixed costs, a faster competitor, and fewer people walking past the storefront to begin with. What this signals is bigger than one brand. When even the cheapest, fastest physical retail format can't compete, it confirms the mall-based shopping trip itself is the thing losing relevance, not just the brands inside it. Number 4, Kohl's.
Top in consumer news now, Kohl's closing 27 stores across more than a dozen states as it looks to improve profits. The closures are expected to be completed by April. They're a small fraction of the struggling retailers, more than 1,100 stores, and were listed as underperforming.
Kohl's has been a department store anchor for decades, the kind of store that pulled people into a shopping center and kept smaller retailers around it alive. In 2026, it's confirmed a fresh round of underperforming store closures as part of an ongoing restructuring. The challenge for Kohl's is that it's caught in the middle. It's not cheap enough to compete with off-price retailers like TJ Maxx and Ross, and it's not differentiated enough to compete with targeted online retail that knows exactly what a specific shopper wants. Middle-of-the-road positioning, once a strength, has become a liability when shoppers are being more deliberate about every purchase. Operationally, the same cost pressures apply across the board: rent, insurance, labor. But Kohl's specific problem is identity. When a retailer doesn't have a clear reason to choose it over either a discounter or a specialist, foot traffic erodes slowly, and that's exactly the pattern showing up in its closures. Number 3, Macy's.
And Macy's announced it's closing more of its stores. The company says it plans to close 14 stores in 12 states.
If Kohl's is a department store with an identity problem, Macy's is the department store model itself running out of road. The company has continued executing its plan to close underperforming locations through 2026, with a total now well past 100 stores nationally. Macy's was the anchor, literally and figuratively, for American malls. Its presence justified the smaller specialty stores around it. When a Macy's closes, it doesn't just remove one store. It can destabilize the entire shopping center's foot traffic, triggering closures in unrelated businesses nearby. The deeper cause is behavioral. The unhurried, wander-the-aisles browsing experience Macy's was built around has largely moved online, where algorithms now do the discovery work that physical browsing used to provide. Macy's isn't disappearing as a company, but its presence in everyday community life is shrinking fast. If this breakdown is useful, drop a like. It genuinely helps more people see it. Now, the next 3 aren't optional categories. These are stores people rely on just to get through a normal week. Number 2, Walgreens.
500 of those closures will be in the next year, and ultimately about 1 in 7 Walgreens stores will shut down as part of this wave. Walgreens has not announced the locations of those stores yet, but the country's second largest drugstore chain has struggled for years.
Walgreens closures aren't new, but 2026 marks a major acceleration point in its multi-year plan to shut down roughly a quarter of its US footprint. The financial pressures mirror Rite Aid's: squeezed prescription margins, rising labor costs, and increased theft-related losses that have pushed many stores into locking up basic items, which itself drives customers away due to the friction of asking an employee to unlock shampoo or pain relievers. But the real cost here isn't financial, it's geographic. In suburban and rural communities, Walgreens is often the only late-night pharmacy option. When it closes, the nearest alternative might be a 20 or 30-minute drive, which matters enormously for elderly residents, parents managing a sick child overnight, or anyone needing a prescription filled outside business hours. Number 1, 7-Eleven.
Well, 7-Eleven is closing hundreds of stores across North America. The convenience store chain says it is shutting down more than 400 underperforming locations.
No retailer on this list represents something more basic than 7-Eleven. its 2,026 closures, several hundred locations across North America, aren't about product or pricing. Nobody loved 7-Eleven for the coffee. They relied on it because it was always open. That reliability is what's breaking. Overnight staffing costs, rising insurance, and shrinkage from theft in certain urban markets have made round-the-clock operation unprofitable in specific locations. The result? Stores quietly cutting overnight hours or closing outright, removing the one guarantee the brand was built on. This matters beyond convenience shopping. The 24-hour store was a piece of daily infrastructure, the backup option at 2 a.m. when nothing else is open. When that disappears, communities lose a layer of reliability they never had to think about before, precisely because it was always there. Look at the full list: a craft chain, a discount retailer, a party store, 2 pharmacy chains, a fast fashion brand, 2 department stores, and the most recognizable convenience store in the country. Different categories, different customers, but the same 2 forces underneath all of it. First, the cost floor has risen and hasn't come back down. Rent, labor, insurance, and theft losses are structurally higher than they were 5 years ago. Second, consumer behavior has permanently shifted toward more deliberate, comparison-driven spending, with more of that spending moving online. When those 2 pressures meet, physical retail loses, especially in communities with the fewest alternatives nearby. These closures aren't random. They're the visible result of a slow shift that's been building for years. Which one on this list surprised you most? Let me know below. And if you want to know exactly which grocery chains are quietly cutting corners on the meat in their case, watch the video on the left. And if you want to see which everyday foods are vanishing off shelves right now and why stockpiling them might already make sense, watch the video on the right. Don't forget to subscribe.